Whoa, Byakuya and Makoto showed up together. Where the heck have you two been? You just disappeared without a word. We were investigating, of course. How could you not figure that out by that? I can't read by this point. Makoto's ranked high enough for you guys to go off together? Just the two of you?
Huh?
What? Are you jealous?
Hey.
Or are you making up some kind of creepy fantasy for yourself?
What?
Stop talking and brace yourselves. He'll be here any second. Any second. He could show up at any time. When I imagined what was about to happen, I immediately tensed up and prepared myself. But we stood there for 5 full minutes, waiting for something weird to happen. And then 5 minutes became 10.
Why?
What's going on here? Why hasn't Monokuma showed up yet?
Could it be?
Maybe he died again? What should we do? Should we keep waiting here? Or what?
What?
Did I scare you?
Come on.
I demand an explanation. Why did you waste my time and make me wait like that? What? I made you wait? You've got it all backwards. You're the ones making me wait. Huh?
In other words,
I'm waiting for everyone to arrive. We can't start till everyone's here, now can we? What are you talking about? Everyone is here. We've all been waiting for you. Sorry, but you're wrong. But I've been waiting 10 minutes now. So it's like, I can't read. So it's okay if I punish the one making us all wait, right? If we all agree it's a violation, I'll arrange a punishment right now. If it's me you're waiting for, I'm here. When we heard that voice, we all spun around to look.
hey,
I'm here, and no rule's been broken. Kyoko! Kyoko, you're still alive? No, that's a ghost. Stop talking. If you want to fight, do it at the class trial. You need to save some of the fun for later, right?
What?
But is it okay that there's no particular penalty for being late?
is that right?
I made it here just fine. I can't read. Just fine. What school regulation did I violate? Am I wrong? You're so selfish. So spoiled. You're right. There's no penalty. Officially. But I bet you'll be sorry later. No. I'll make sure you're sorry later. I need to turn down my lights. Anyway, hustle your butts onto the elevator. I'll be just one step ahead of you. When Monokuma was gone, we all rushed up to Kyoko. Kyoko. So you really didn't die?
Indeed.
Of course I didn't die. Thank God. I'm so glad you're okay. Perhaps. But that's not necessarily a good thing for us. Huh? He's right. Now we've got to deal with the ghost. Told you. Stop talking.
Let's go.
Come on. Let's just go. Whatever we need to discuss, we can do it during the trial. Without ever looking directly at Kyoko, Byakuya stepped into the elevator. Master, Wait for me. Good call. Who knows what might happen to us if we take too long.
But...
I'll be happy when this trial is all over. One after another, everyone piled onto the elevator. But I couldn't help myself. I had to talk to Kyoko before the trial started. Listen, before we get started, I have to ask you, where have you been this whole time? You used that key of yours to go somewhere, didn't you? So...
Correct.
I went to investigate the second floor of the dorm. The second floor?
That's right.
There aren't many monitors or cameras there, so I was able to avoid Monokuma completely. Of course, I also missed his announcement because of that.
Whew.
I had no idea a body had been discovered. Then, when did you find out?
So...
Just now. I finished my search and came back down, just in time to hear the class trial announcement. I took some time to go over the crime scene first. I can't go to a trial completely uninformed, can I? So that's why you were late.
However...
I'm sorry I kept you all waiting. But, if you were on the second floor of the dorms, then that's what the key you found goes to.
Wrong.
Actually, to be precise, not quite.
In other words...
I used Monokuma's secret tool, which can open any lock in the school. What? Yeah, it's a skeleton key, obviously.
Just a second.
Hey, what are you two doing? Hurry up, before we get in trouble with Monokuma.
Makoto.
We can go over all the details after we get through the trial. Okay, Makoto? Right now, I just want to focus on surviving our current situation.
It would seem...
Because this is probably the single most crucial moment so far for me. What did I name this stream? I forget. Who's dead? Oh. For her? That's a strange way to put it. The class trial is important for everyone, right? So why would she say it's a crucial moment for her?
Goodbye.
Well, that's all. My real question is, how did they get Kyoko's boots? Because I think only like 2 characters wore boots like that, and it was Junko and Kyoko. So, I don't know. Seemingly unconcerned, Kyoko made her way to the elevator. I'm just overthinking what she said, right? Wait, give me a second. Give me 1 second. I've got to check something. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So, oh, I just hit my mouse again. Okay. Being the last one left, I stepped into the elevator. And the door slid shut. Oh, elevator time. This time, the clunking was loud enough to hurt my ears, and the dread began to consume me once again. Wait, no, now that I know that she's alive, I need to change the stream title. I'm just gonna call it Big Trial. Okay. I can't imagine ever getting used to the mental pressure that comes with preparing for an execution. In that dusky darkness, no one said a word. We just stood there, silent and still. After an immeasurable period of time, the doors opened without warning. A dazzling light penetrated every depth of my eyes. But it wasn't the illuminating light of hope. It was the blinding light of despair. Makoto, that's not how you describe a light fixture. I'm just saying. Oh!
I can't wait! I can't wait!
This is a very bright room. I just noticed it's like lime and pink. Which, in my opinion at least, as someone who plays Team Fortress 2 a lot and has to see a lot of lime pink scouts, I don't like the combination of the colors lime and pink. I've been waiting for this. I feel like it's been forever since we got together like this. The time for pointless jokes and jabs has passed. Hasn't it been like 5 days since we had a trial? I don't think that's too long.
Chills! Chills!
Let's get on with the show! And so the curtain opened for the 5th time. A deadly Oh yeah, okay, I looked it up. And apparently, Judgment with 2 E's and Judgment with 1 E are both correct spellings. So apparently it's not misspelled. It's just another way of spelling it. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, deadly defense, a deadly faith, a deadly class trial. Oh. Save? Yeah. What skills do I have? I have 3 SP. Set aim, that's not that handy. Might as well, because more time limit isn't that useful. But steadied aim also isn't that useful. I guess I'll go for extra time? I don't know. Okay, what truth bullets do I have? I honestly forget. Monokuma file, exploded body analysis, fake nails, tattoo, fragments, sprinkler, when the body was found, knife at the crime scene, tarp, chicken coop, chickens. Byakuya's account. Oh, I accidentally tapped out. Okay. Body before the explosion, Mukuro's profile, Monokuma's account, wood block key, titanium arrows, bloody duct tape, Kyoko's account. Okay. I still hate that they always refer to her as Mukuro Ikusaba. Which is something they do with, like, every important character. They're just like, oh, Mukuro Ikusaba, or... like, if Makoto ended up being the main villain, they would always refer to him as Makoto Naegi, despite just being able to call him Makoto, or Naegi. Oh well. Trial time.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one,
How are you guys doing today?
then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay, well, I'll leave the rest up to you.
Well then, let's discuss the specifics of the victim. First, we need to clarify who exactly the unidentified victim is.
It's Kyoko. There's no other explanation.
But Kyoko's standing right there.
No, that's a ghost, obviously. Hiro's just too smart for us.
No, that's a ghost!
See? He's a genius.
But she has legs and stuff.
Well, that's just because she's like the latest evolution in ghost technology.
That's also a good point, Hiro.
There's a limit to how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
Okay. So I just have to prove that the corpse isn't Kyoko, right? Then let's compare Kyoko's traits to the traits of the dead body.
Even if that is a ghost, wouldn't Monokuma still put up the sign for the dead body?
Her traits?
One important trait that Kyoko has that proves the body doesn't belong to her is her piercing glare.
I got it! I'm talking about her gloves. They'll give us some insight into the mystery. I'm sure of it.
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
And would you happen to know the answer?
In fact, Monokuma told me. Apparently you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Oh, you know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing any gloves, right?
They probably just got burnt up in the explosion.
But the clothes... Okay, if you say so, Hiro.
I'm not convinced. The ghost is just trying to fool us all.
Do you have any idea on what's going on in this case? Because I'm gonna be completely honest, the first time I saw this case, I had no idea what was going on. And up until the very end of the case, I had no idea what was going on. But if I can't prove why, we're gonna be stuck here and the case won't move forward. So I don't have any choice but to shoot them with bullets made of words. Okay, wait. Exploded body analysis.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay. then
Oh, the
prove it.
fake nails
Prove
prove
she's
that
not
it
a
wasn't
ghost.
wearing gloves.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then
Because I'm pretty sure you can't wear fake nails at the same time as
Yeah,
gloves.
she must have been wearing gloves.
No!
That just seems painful. Or impossible.
There's no way the corpse was wearing gloves. Whoever it was, they were wearing fake nails, remember? I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big pain. Besides, Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right? It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails, don't you think?
Jeez, man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like that.
Hero, you don't either. You know what? Okay, sure.
if anyone doesn't know women, it's you.
Exactly. I'm not saying I'm any better, but I don't go, well, they're just a woman, they're weak.
Well, Kyoko, any thoughts?
Hero.
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life. If I wore fake nails, the the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Then that's that. The dead body doesn't belong to Kyoko.
It should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
Okay, so then, who's the real victim? First, we need to figure that out.
That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
Before anything, we have to identify the victim. Everything starts from there. Oh, wait, the tattoo.
Kyoko really is still alive.
Or...
Then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out. I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file. Well, if we can't identify the body...
Then there's nothing else we can do, right?
I think I have to use the tattoo.
If Kyoko really...
Then who died? There's gotta be some... I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond... And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma... Well, if we can't identify the...
Oh, wait. Exploded body analysis. No. I don't know. Is it the... I have a feeling... It shouldn't be the fragments.
Then there's nothing else we can do, right?
I think it's the tattoo.
If Kyoko really is still alive...
'Cause none of these really fit it other than that.
The face was scorched and there wasn't any description in the Monokuma... Well, if we can't identify the body...
Okay.
No,
I was
it's wrong.
just making sure.
There was one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
What? For real?
I'm sorry, hearing Cassandra Lee Morris say "for real" just feels like Morgana.
If you're lying, you'll die a cruel and unusual death.
Cruel and unusual death? This I gotta see.
She's just being stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
Oh, yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog? Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
False.
Seriously? They really did something that humiliating?
They're... Okay, no what?
No, that's not it. The identity of
Thank
the
you,
victim is
yeah.
hidden within that tattoo.
Oh, really?
If you compare the tattoo to other information we have, the victim's identity should be clear. Guru Kusaba's profile.
I got it! The Fenrir Mercenary Corps. That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Okay, so...
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
Fenrir?
The image that represents Fenrir is this gonna be Hangman's Gambit? Why? It's... okay. Wolf? Yeah, wolf.
Now I understand. The representation of Fenrir is a wolf.
Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge, world-ending wolf beast.
I was right. I knew it was from Norse mythology.
He's the child of the trickster god Loki. And a female giant.
Man, after all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-star.
A wolf tattoo. And that means...
Exactly. The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf, which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir. So it must have been Mukuro.
What?
Hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right.
Shut up, Monokuma.
Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
Are you saying the mastermind is dead? And now we have to have a coup last trial?
No. It means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
But I mean, being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place. After all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description. All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier. If I remember correctly, that other information came from Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
Oh no.
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
Then who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this whole time? And when she finally turns up, she gets killed. Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character? Which would mean she was the same as us. Just another participant.
Then who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
My information was not wrong.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost. Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
Give me 1 second. I'll be back in a second. Okay. I just had to check something.
Fine. Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this.
Wait, did I unmute my mic? Okay, yeah, I did.
No matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation.
Good for you, Monokuma.
Now then, just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record. The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place. Hammer that point straight into your big old brains!
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Wait, no! There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along!
Nope! There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
That's true.
Seriously? Then one of us killed Mukuro?
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
Get a hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
Huh?
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
Based on what we know, there can only be 2 suspects. Kodo and Kyoko.
I got it! You've narrowed it down to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden. So I can confirm that at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
That's right. The four of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time, we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, the four of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis
Are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
Yes.
exactly so.
So the only suspects now are me and Kyoko. I can't let this stand. Somehow I have to clear my name.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want. Somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at... Well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock. So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body? Oh, but what time did we find the body?
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right? And she went to go get the pickaxe.
So what time was the body discovered? At 9 o'clock?
I got it!
Okay.
The body must have been discovered at 9 a.m., since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
Now then, Toko. What time is it? Well, when we left the gym, it was just before 9 o'clock. So it's probably 9 on the dot now. Okay, go get the pickaxe and be back here by 9:01.
He's right. It had to be around then.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was around... Oh yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
The murder happened between 10 p.m. and 9 a.m., and I don't have an alibi from 10 p.m. till 7:30 a.m. Okay. Then, looks like the game has begun. I can't provide an alibi for that period, and I just have to prove the murder didn't happen during that time I don't have an alibi. Sprinkler.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
Oh.
Shoot!
Okay.
We've established a time frame. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock at...
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder. So Makoto,
If you have
Okay.
any objections, now would be the time.
we've established a time frame. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night.
Okay.
No, it's wrong! Actually, the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold on. I remember this part perfectly. The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? How? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet? How
Toko.
dare you spew such indecent words?
If anything, you're 100% wrong, because only the top half that was on fire was what he threw water on. So, you know what? I'm just gonna ignore this.
No, I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
What do you mean? By denying the sprinkler, are you trying to deny my entire existence?
Man, you're totally wacko.
I agree, Hero.
If you really think it wasn't the sprinkler, you'd better tell us why!
You need to prove that it wasn't the sprinklers that got the body wet. This is so easy! Is this gonna be bullet time battle? Of course.
I admit nothing. No, no, no! That's enough! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. No, no, no! That's enough! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I'm right about this. I admit nothing. No, no, no! That's enough! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. No,
I'm
no,
really
no.
bad at this.
That's enough! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. How can you say it wasn't the sprinkler?
Okay.
This should prove it. Just remember what the body was like after the explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers. The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry.
The power of flex tape.
If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
But the inside's completely dry.
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a brutal maniac! I'm so sick of her.
Me too, Hina.
Let's just move on. The reason only the top half was wet was because... while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
Oh, then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
In which case, the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
Kyoko's the only one without an alibi. Which would mean that Mukuro's killer is... No, I refuse to believe it. Kyoko murdered someone? That's...
I'd just like to say one thing. If you vote for me, and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen.
Huh?
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
A trap?
We're this far into the game, and now you decide to blame me? Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
I can't get over the fact that Monokuma's floating in the chair.
Shut up, you!
You got it, boss! Shutting up now!
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Huh? She did?
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything. So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko? But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial. Something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So, that was her motive?
And why would she go to the effort of hiding everything?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
That is true.
Huh?
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
What are you...
I mean, she is right.
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
Makoto, you found the tarp. One side of it covered in water and dirt, and you went, ah, yes, this isn't related to the case in any way. Let me just write it down just in case, though.
Interesting. I'm listening.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
A certain something at the scene was used to cover the body. Could it have been the fake nails? Could it have been the chickens?
I got it! You're talking about the tarp, aren't you?
The chickens are very absorbent. They just covered the body in the chickens.
You catch on quick. You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that. Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water. The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean. This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
Okay, but to be fair, Makoto is an idiot, so why would Kyoko say that? Why would she want me to look like the killer? No, I can't think about that right now. That tarp. If it was used the way Kyoko said, tarp must have touched the body, right? Oh, right, it didn't have blood on it. But the body...
Wait, something's not right.
And what might that be?
I can't worry about Kyoko's motivations. If I don't do something, everyone's gonna think I'm the killer. I have to refute what Kyoko said. Okay. Body before the explosion. Or, yeah, body before the explosion.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water.
Oh.
Shoot!
By covering the body with the killer prevented it from...
So the reason the tarp was because the sprinkler got...
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward... Of course it didn't get dirty!
Okay.
No, that's wrong! Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it. Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Yakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
If they had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh, yeah, true.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
Huh? The blood was camouflage?
What if, after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
You mean someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that?
I know! They could have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office. That's what Hifumi did, right? When he pretended to be dead?
True.
No, that's not what happened this time.
Also true.
The killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
They got blood from right there in the garden, right? Which means... chickens.
I got it! Could it have been chicken blood?
What? Chicken blood?
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens. But after the murder, there were only 4.
So, you're saying someone killed a chicken and then covered the body with its blood? Man, that's messed up.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
I can agree with that.
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted
But also,
walking
they
around.
were committing a murder, so...
Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense. You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body. But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
They covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
Oh, it wasn't.
I think so. Wait, no. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
Then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up. What settles what?
Here's what happened. The murder took place before the sprinklers went off, but the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body, the coat they've already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But
True.
to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
True.
Maybe, but still.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Oh no. I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
This doesn't look good.
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
That's not...
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
And the suspicion falls back on me again. But why? Why is Kyoko trying to entrap me? I don't understand. This guy's dead body has been added to the truth bullet section of your handbook. Okay.
Well then, It looks...
Wait, I need to read this. Okay.
Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
Oh!
See? Pretty good idea, right?
No, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
Yeah.
The one we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right? According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back.
Doesn't look like it, but okay.
So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife
Oh
somewhere
no,
before.
wait. Oh.
That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
Oh no. Listen, more important. Now that we have the knife, what are we gonna do with it? We can't let Toko keep it, that's for sure. We don't know what she might do. I mean, look, I'm gonna say this again. They could have trusted Toko with it. She already has razor-sharp scissors. I don't think a knife is going to do any more harm than her multiple pairs of razor-sharp murder scissors. I could be wrong, but I don't know. I don't want it anyway. So what to do? Why don't you hang on to it, Makoto? Huh? Me?
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah,
Then why did you hide that fact?
it's not that I hid it. It's just...
Couldn't be sure of what actually happened last night. I thought maybe I really did kill her.
Suspicious! Very suspicious indeed. The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
Considering everything up till now, I should be able to make it clear. I have to prove that I didn't murder anyone. I'm not the killer. I don't know how I'm gonna prove this, I'm gonna be honest. I forget how this trial goes.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
What's the disguised dead body? Oh wait.
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible...
Wait. That knife kill Mikuro? No, there's no way. Yeah, there.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
Okay. Wait. Exploded body analysis. When the body was found. I honestly don't know what to do here. Maybe I have to absorb something?
I was afraid of that.
If he did have that, that seals it. Just because I had that automatic...
Well, getting stabbed is what killed, so there's no
It's
question.
she didn't get killed by stabbing.
What a horrible man you want to
How
cut.
do I prove it wrong though?
The knife we found lodged in the pit.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid.
Body before. Body before the explosion. Maybe it's this?
If he did have that knife before, and that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had that automatic...
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right?
It's something.
Shoot!
The
Against
knife
that.
we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
Wait. Disguised dead body.
If he
Maybe
did
it's
have that,
this?
seals it. Just because I had that automatic...
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right?
Okay.
No, it's wrong. Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her.
No, don't you remember? The killer covered the dead body with the tarp, and then put the bloody coat on it, right? In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
The victim was stabbed twice in the same spot? No, there's no way that's possible. Monokuma file? Yeah.
I got it! The Monokuma file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did. Totally forgot about that.
Then the knife...
Was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer. They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her. Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing. The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Oh, hey, I have a question. It kinda goes back to the beginning, but... What's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
I know.
If you bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Well, if you're so smart, just tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic level spontaneous combustion.
If you say so.
I might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
Why don't... Okay, fine. The explosion was caused by the chickens. I knew it the whole time.
I got it! After the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
That's only natural, because of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma.
Sure, they can join. As long as they don't, like, grief or steal or anything. Sure.
It's part of a bomb.
Oh! Then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto. And the only one who would benefit from that is the only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
How many truth bullets do I have left? Monokuma file. I've used all of them except Byakuya's account, Monokuma's account, would block key, titanium arrows, bloody duct tape, Kyoko's account. So,
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate.
I honestly forget how this trial goes.
It won't change the facts of the case regardless.
But I do remember that I'm gonna have to get the bad ending here for the stream, and it's gonna make me mad. We need to determine what ultimately killed the victim. It's funny because it said ultimate in Danganronpa. I need to concentrate. I'm so tired. My humor is dying. More than it already has.
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined.
Oh, wait,
The
Monokuma file.
explosion didn't kill her for sure.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't you because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then, shall we continue the victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined.
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. Yes.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't you because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. That's gotta be it. There was evidence.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then, shall we continue? The victim's fatal
Injury has yet to be determined, correct?
I don't remember how this trial goes.
The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined.
The explosion didn't kill.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't you. And then there's only one other.
Oh, yeah. That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Wait.
Shall we continue the debate?
Monokuma file before the explosion body analysis. Okay. Monokuma file. Oh, I think I have to refute the other wounds part since they were several days old.
That's gotta be it.
And more than that, the victim had suffered
Countless wounds across her
Or
entire
not.
body.
I think I already tried that. Oh. Okay. Exploded body analysis. Body before the explosion.
The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. Yes.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
I don't know.
Then shall we... The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
I have 4 minutes left on this part of the trial.
It wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the
More than that, the victim had suffered...
Do you have any idea what it could be? My brain is not working tonight, and I could
Then shall
really
we
use help
continue the
with
debate?
this.
The victim's fatal injury has...
Okay, never mind. I got it. I'm dying.
Mukuro died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
But then, what was the murder weapon? The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal
Wait.
pipe.
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe!
No.
How is that even possible?
Now I remember
If
how
it
this
hit
trial
someone really
goes.
bad, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
No way! The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power. I wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
No thanks. I bet you just hit me with the metal end and call it an accident.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground and spit on it.
Good for you, Toko.
I feel the same way. Looks like we're on the same page this time.
Seriously?
We want to figure out what killed her, right? It just so happens we already know.
We already know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
So what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced
Why
the
don't
real murder
you?
weapon.
If you're Mega Mind, if your brain is so big, why don't you tell everyone? The real murder weapon. It's the chickens. Where is it? Arrows.
I got it! Mukuro was hit in the back of the head with something. And that's what killed her. And that something was the titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
Arrow. That's what the culprit attacked Mukuro with?
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
Are you sure? That sounds kind of weird.
Oh, I have a smudge on my glasses. Oh my goodness.
Hey! How dare you backtalk, Master? You have no right! I'm not backtalking anything. I'm just saying what I think.
I don't blame Hina for doubting it, because there's more than one thing about the weapon. Well, yeah, but still, it's annoying. One more secret. Do you think you have an idea of what's going on? Because I haven't seen this trial in so long, so
The titanium arrow.
I want to see what
It
it's
was
like.
in the dojo
Or
locker, right?
what you think, since you
I
haven't seen
have
it
no
before.
doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
Sort of? Okay.
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, because in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about
What do
as
you
thick
think's
as a
going
metal
on
pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
No, it's wrong. You're right. Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why the killer used another weapon.
What do you mean, Makoto? It's not like she was the ultimate soldier or anything. You could easily cave her head in with a arrow. That's how skulls work. I have a message on Discord.
Another weapon?
Inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled-up wad of duct tape.
Yes, we did.
The killer probably uses duct tape to bind multiple arrows together. Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe. And that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks.
Good for you, Sophie.
One stick is weak. We put them together, and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
Dang, that's harsh.
How is it harsh? Are you even listening?
Anyway, that explains the murder weapon. As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, it was you, Kyoko.
Actually, yeah, that does make sense.
I've never been to the dojo.
Oh no, you absolutely have.
Wait, no, because when we first found the dojo, Kyoko was in there.
How can you say that with such confidence?
Because we have proof, of course. Don't
Oh
we,
no.
Makoto? What's the matter? Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer. You know what will happen if you do, don't you? If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to the death of us all, remember?
Of course I remember.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
I have evidence. Evidence that Kyoko went to the dojo. Yeah.
I got it! The one thing that proves Kyoko was in the dojo is right here. The
I'm
key
starting
to
to
the dojo
remember
locker.
what this leads up to.
And how does that prove anything?
Because I found it in your room.
It was in my room?
Don't bother trying to play dumb. That key is just the final piece of the puzzle. Your non-existent alibi, your clear motive, your attempts to frame Makoto for the crime. This all proves that you are the true culprit. You can't explain this away, so just give up.
Hold on a second.
Not this again. You really are dead set on defending her, aren't you?
I mean, yeah, but shut up, Byakuya.
No, it's not that I want to defend her. It's just, there's one more thing I need to ask her. Kyoko, I want you to tell me something. Last night, you were in my room, weren't you?
I'm sorry, this frame is... it's so funny to me. I just realized something. Because of the hoodie, and also the hairstyle, since you can't see the, what's it called, a hoge? The hair sticking up, it looks like, Makoto is, what's his name? The protagonist of, Konosuba. I forget his name. But it looks like it.
Why? What were you doing there? That's what I need to know.
I was just protecting you.
What?
She was protecting me? Then does that mean she knew I was being attacked? Oh yeah, Kazuma! That's his name! And she came to my rescue. Could that be when... Which would mean that Kyoko... She killed someone for me?
That's enough. The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is close at hand.
Here it
Wait.
comes.
I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it. Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know.
Oh, because he had the key to her room. Byakuya should know better than anyone? What does that mean?
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me.
Yes, he would hide it especially from you.
Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have
Because he had the key. I don't see what I have to
I'm
do
not
here,
the
though.
killer. You should understand that more.
Master would never hide something.
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of and then left the locker key in my own room.
I think I have to absorb
Could I
that.
really have done that?
Those words you just...
Exactly. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than any-
Byakuya,
What are you? Master would never hide something from me.
There's proof that you aren't the culprit.
No, it's wrong.
Okay.
If I'm right, Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room.
Huh? Why not?
Is it bad that I forgot Kazuma's name? I mean, it is kind of the most forgettable name in the series.
Because she
But
had given her room key
I
to
don't know.
Byakuya.
He's the protagonist, so I feel kind of...
I see.
about forgetting it.
So that's what you meant. And if I had the key to your room...
Then obviously I had no way of getting in. Without my room key, I couldn't have possibly put the locker key in there myself.
Wait, no, but she had, like, a skeleton key. Or I think it was called the Monokuma key.
Am I wrong?
It would appear not.
Then you're finally starting to understand.
No, that's not actually true. There was a clear contradiction in what Kyoko just told us. An obvious lie. Oh no. I think this is where it is. But this just isn't like her. To try and save herself with such a desperate lie. Does she really feel that threatened? Because she's the killer? Or is it something else? Was there some deeper meaning hidden in what Kyoko said earlier? If you vote for me, and I die here, the mystery of the school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen. This is a trap the Mastermind has laid for us. Mastermind's trap. Mastermind is trying to trap Kyoko, but What if that's not really true? What can I do? What should I do? What should I... Mastermind's trap? The victim was Mukuro? And Kyoko killed her? What does Kyoko really know? What am I supposed to do? Kyoko's lie. I'm the only one who knows it's a lie. I'm the only one who can expose it. Wait. Okay, I can save. But who can I trust? What am I supposed to do? The Mastermind's trap. If you spend all your time trying to avoid danger, you'll never move forward. We know the danger, but if that risk means solving the mystery, we have no choice. Am I wrong? What do I do? I have to decide, right. Bad ending time.
There was a lie hidden within Kyoko's statement just now.
A lie?
Isn't that right, Kyoko?
You said it. The burden of proof is on you. So let's hear it. Where's this lie, then?
Kyoko is definitely lying, and it must be because there's some other deeper truth she wants to keep hidden. Either I'm wrong about this being where the bad ending is, or... because I don't remember this part of it.
The key to my room.
So I'm pretty sure this is the bad ending, which is non-canon, but I still don't like it. Kyoko's account. Yeah, secret tool.
Because I'd given it to Byakuya. There's no doubt about that, right?
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
No, it's wrong.
I'm mad. I don't like this.
No. Kyoko could have gotten into a room. You said so yourself, didn't you, Kyoko?
Yeah. Actually, to be precise, not quite. I used Monokuma's secret tool, which can open any lock in the school. What?
Monokuma's secret tool?
I mean, there's a whole nother trial after this for the canon ending, but still.
Kyoko stole it from the headmaster's room. It lets you get into any room in the school, which means she could have used it to get into her own room.
Then I guess that's it.
You're giving up just like that? You admit to killing...
No, I'm simply recognizing that I lost.
What are you talking about?
Like I said, this was a trap, and I wasn't able to escape it. So I lost. That's all this means.
Then, are you saying you really didn't... Kyoko, you really aren't the killer?
Okay, time's up!
Huh?
I'm sorry to say, but your time is up! All done, all finished. The class trial is all over.
But that's ridiculous! Since when is there any...
It's because you were late, so the trial started late and time ran out. So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you!
Yeah. I both love and hate that Monokuma, right before people start doubting their decision, he goes, oh, time's up, come on, you gotta vote, come on!
But I guess we already know who the blackened is, don't we?
No. Good job! You got it right! Brilliantly right! We got it right? Does that mean Kyoko really is the killer? But something strange is going on here. There's something wrong with this whole class trial. Kyoko.
Now then,
I've prepared
a very special punishment.
I've prepared an extra special punishment this time. Is everyone ready? Okay then.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
No, not death to the waifu. No. Oh, it's just this. Okay. At least it's not the worst. I don't like it, but still. Like, it just feels kind of unnatural to see Kyoko actually worried. Or scared. Oh, and I just realized what's on the board. Monokuma, you shouldn't be teaching that lesson right now. And that's how the class trial of Mukuro Ikusaba came to an end. I still had to wonder whether Kyoko was actually innocent, or... regardless, the truth was lost forever. Even for me. I just stopped thinking about it. That was the end of Mukuro's class trial. And in the end, it would prove to be our last class trial. Once that case was over, there was never a single murder at Hope's Peak ever again. We had obtained peace in exchange for the lives of all the others. Wait, Toko's dead. Wait a second, I just noticed something. All three of those kids are Hina's. But also, you know what? Never mind. Peace, but only inside the school. the little kid, Hero's kid looks angry. Peace, but only for us. That was the only hope we had. Hope. Hope. Hope? This is hope?
No! This isn't right!
Huh?
Makoto, why are you staring off into space? Don't you have a rebuttal for Kyoko's claim?
Her claim? Oh, that's right. I have to... Do I expose Kyoko's lie or not? He's not wrong. I have to think about this very carefully. What do I do? I have to decide right here and now whether or not to expose Kyoko's lie. Let it go. I've made my decision. I have to believe in Kyoko. There's no way she would kill someone. There has to be some secret here. Something that has to do with the Mastermind's trap that Kyoko mentioned.
Well, does no one have a rebuttal? Have you decided to accept her assertion as fact? I see. So you still refuse to accept it. I suppose we have to admit that Kyoko didn't put the locker key in her room, that it was someone else.
But who else could it have been?
I mean, Byakuya had a room key, right?
You! What are you trying to imply?
But of course, I have an alibi. From nighttime on, I was with you guys the entire time. I couldn't possibly have killed anyone, or put the key in Kyoko's room.
Well, someone had to put the key in there.
There's only one other possibility I can think of. Someone could have had the key on them, then once they arrived at the scene, pretended to find it there.
What? It had to be Makoto, right?
I don't see any other option.
Well, at least it's not the bad ending. I feel like this is much better.
Wait a second. You've got it all wrong. Let's think about it one more time. There's gotta be a hidden side to this case.
Huh? A hidden side?
First of all, there's something off about this entire trial. You all see it, don't you?
Here it comes.
Mukuro, who we didn't even know existed, suddenly shows up dead. And then we're thrown into a trial. And Kyoko even said, it's a trap the mastermind set for us. So that's why this has to be...
Okay, time's up!
Huh?
Time's up! Class trial's all over! Everyone can stop talking now!
What? Time's up?
What do you mean time's up? There's no time's up. Since when have we...
It's because you were late, so we had to push back the start time. So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you!
Voting time?
Here it comes. This is the good outcome for it. Well, I got a B on one of them, but still. I got a B! No! Oh well. It's time for the good outcome.
Now, who will be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
Hey, hold on!
What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Yay, I'm guilty! Woohoo! Time for the big die. What? You think I'm the killer? Sorry, man.
Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry. It's all your fault. Everyone, you're wrong. You've got it all wrong. I didn't do it.
Yes, indeed.
Good job, everyone. Good job?
Yep.
Yeah, they got it right. No. I know that's not true. None of this makes any sense. The whole trial doesn't make any sense.
Hey!
It makes perfect sense! I can't say that for so long. That's... What does that even mean if it capitalizes halfway through? Does he just start screaming halfway through saying sense?
Shing!
It's the same as always. It's just like all the other class trials. I'm gonna end it the same way.
Thrills, chills, kills!
It's time for your heart-pounding, positively thrilling punishment. Wait, why do I... Kyoko.
I don't expect you to forgive me. I know this is all my fault.
Kyoko?
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
Here it comes. I mean, it's not the good ending. It's not an ending, but still. This is the good outcome we get. Well, time to die. So, what do you think of that? Huh? Huh? What's this? What's going on? Hey, was that... Yeah, it had to be. Alter ego. Alter ego? Is this some stupid virus from that stupid guy? He must have planted it when he invaded my network. I don't believe this.
It would seem...
It seems you finally made a miscalculation. No, you miscalculated from the very beginning.
What the heck?
What was that?
In other words...
What I'm saying is, you shouldn't have underestimated us. Why are you talking like you've already won? I barely felt a thing. It was a pinch, an itch. The stupid virus is gone now, got it? And so is Makoto. Maybe I didn't get to smash him flat, but you're never gonna see him again. To waste away in a garbage-strewn pit. In a way, that's an even better special punishment. But it's still not enough. I'm not satisfied. I'm still gonna bring despair to the rest of you. Bring despair to the entire world. Is he gone? Hey, Kyoko. What's the meaning of this? What the heck is going on?
Calm down.
It's okay. We're not the ones being trapped this time.
In other words...
Now it's the mastermind that's ensnared.
What did you say?
What are you talking about?
So...
You'll understand soon enough. Very soon indeed. We're gonna get to see my favorite sprite in the game soon. Or in this game, at least. The massive high school towers over all the other buildings in this bustling urban area. It's like the school stands at the center of the entire world. Hope's Peak Academy. Brings in top students from every field imaginable. A government-funded school of privilege. They say that if you come here and manage to graduate, you'll be set for life. Hundreds of years of tradition, It sends the cream of the crop into the workforce every year. It was built to raise hope in the nation's future, which makes Hope's Peak a pretty fitting name. There are 2 things you need to attend this school. 1, you have to already be attending high school. 2, you have to be the very best at what you do. No ordinary student could enroll here. The only way in is if you're scouted by the school itself. And standing there at the gate of the ultimate school filled with the ultimate students was me. What? Where am I? I woke up with my head resting on top of a hard wooden desk. My body felt heavy. It wouldn't be weird for me to zonk off in the middle of some boring class or whatever, but what was I doing asleep here just now? It wasn't any classroom I'd been in before. What the heck is going on? Yay, the trash pit. Finally. Oh wait, there's the rocket from the start of the game. I could finally feel my mind and body start to come back together again. And then, I was awake. Or was this... Or was this just another dream? A dream inside a hopeless nightmare. Makoto, you get a free rocket. It can't be that bad. No, this isn't a dream. I could tell because the stench invading my nostrils was too powerful for a dream. What an awful smell. I was in a vast, dark cavern with the barest hint of light seeping in. Trash was piled high all across the area. Wait. If there's an incinerator, why is there a garbage pit? This must be some kind of underground garbage pit. A heck of a situation to find myself in. But that was just the beginning of my problems. Was I going to be stuck in there till I wasted away and died? No, I can't let that happen. Not after what my good friend went through to save me. I remembered all too well what had happened. Alter Ego saved me. And he used up the last little bit of his strength to do it. So I can't give up now. For myself and for my friend. And with that, my pursuit of survival began. First up was to start looking for a way out of here. The rocket! We can fly out! That's a rocket. And a tank. There's a tank? Oh, there is a tank. I'd better not think too much about what I'm seeing down here. Okay. Oh wait, the tank is here. Okay, give me a second. Okay, I will. Just I've got to open up the console to the server. What happened? Because I don't have the option to roll back the server right now since Spigot isn't updated. I've done it. I think I tried. Oh, it's saying he's moving too quickly. Looks like hacks. Wait, okay, did they get banned? Okay, wait. Oh no, they got banned. Okay, it just took a second. What happened? It's locked. Killed a ton of animals? No, wait, what animals? Did he kill all the dogs at, the pavilion? No matter how many times I pushed or pulled or kicked it at it, it didn't budge. Oh. Okay. Getting out of here isn't gonna be that easy. That's... I'll have to ask her what she had so I can replace them, I guess. Since I can't roll back. Well, if I'm not getting out of here anytime soon. I decided to look around for some food. There's plenty of food here, but it's all rotten. But that was pointless too. Next, I searched for some water. How can I be sure which liquids I can drink, and which ones are an all-around bad idea? Again, pointless. I feel like I'm blocked in on all sides. But that's still not enough reason to give up. Because I'm still alive. As long as I'm alive, I'll never give up. After making that proud declaration, the next thing I decided to do was... go to sleep. Time to sleep in the trash pit. My sleep was deep and uninterrupted. Wait, okay. No, wait, no. I think you know where the dog pavilion is, so they probably didn't kill them. If they did, then, that was my only way to preserve what little strength I had left, after not being able to eat or drink. Can't be sure, but I think at least a full day had to have passed. And all I did was sleep and sleep. It was like I was waiting for some kind of sign to come falling out of the sky. However, what fell from the sky wasn't a sign. Not exactly. It was a cup of ramen. What the? A strange sound pierced my silent isolation, jarring me awake. As I watched, the pile of garbage jostled and formed an odd shape. Did something fall down over there? Something fell from up above. What could it have been? Probably trash. Did a giant piece of trash just fall down here? No, he can't see the logs. If he was killing people's animals, he doesn't deserve to see the logs. I carefully stretched my hand out toward whatever it was that had tumbled down here with me.
Just a second.
A giant piece of trash. Rude. Before she even emerged from the pile of garbage, I knew who it was. He's 11.
It smells
I told you it was a cup of ramen.
awful.
See? This sprite is so funny to me. Kyoko,
Indeed.
you look like you're doing better than I expected. What are you doing here?
So...
Isn't it obvious? I'm here to help you. I'm glad to hear that, Kyoko. You've got a bit of garbage in your hair. She gave her head a quick, sharp shake to get rid of the trash, then faced me again.
Hey.
First, I have something for you. Go ahead and eat it. We can talk once you're finished. thank you. I snatched the bread and water that she was holding out for me. Within seconds, it was in my mouth and making its way toward my stomach. That really hit the spot. Now I've got all the energy I need to keep going to keep going. So you still haven't given up then? Of course not. After all, the fact that I can keep going forward is about all I'm good at. Well, that's not such a bad thing to be good at. Okay. But, Kyoko, why'd you come to rescue me?
So...
To pay a debt. Or, no, to atone. Atone?
You...
During the trial, even though you knew I was lying, you didn't say anything. So, you knew that I knew.
Indeed.
But even though I knew, I did nothing to help you. I abandoned you. Don't say that. You didn't abandon me. No, that's exactly what I did. I abandoned you in order to save my own life. You were trying to save me, and I couldn't bring myself to do the same for you.
However...
But listen, not that I'm trying to make excuses, but there was a reason that I had to survive, no matter the cost. Why did you have to survive?
It's true.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you everything. The reason I have to survive...
In other words...
is so that I can do what I came to this school to do. What? I made up my mind to come to Hope's Peak Academy for one very important reason. So, you have some reason for coming to Hope's Peak?
Indeed.
That's right. At least, I did. Once. Once? Until recently, I'd forgotten what it was. You forgot, but that's... I had no memory of what my purpose was. No memory? That's impossible. Amnesia? Then, is it really true? You lost your memory?
Makoto.
Do you remember Makoto? Do you remember the first thing that happened to each of us as soon as we arrived at the school? The first thing. You're talking about when we fainted, right? I fainted, and when I woke up, I was trapped here.
That's right.
I fainted too, and when I woke up, I noticed a strange feeling of separation within myself. A disconnect.
It would seem...
Thinking back on it now, at that point my memory was gone. At that time, I'd forgotten. I couldn't remember why I'd come to this school, and I couldn't remember what my ultimate ability was. But what would make you forget all that?
Hey.
Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine it happened by chance. Seems much too convenient. Are you saying you think you lost your memory because...
Indeed.
I don't think. I'm positive it was the work of the mastermind. They stole my memory. But why would they want to do that? There's only one reason I can come up with. Because of my purpose and my ability. Somehow they would interfere with the mastermind's plans. So the mastermind just stole them from you?
However...
And it could also mean, somehow, my memories may be connected to the mystery of this school and the mastermind. Which is why I have to get them back. That's why I've been investigating things by myself this whole time. But, if what you say is true, why didn't you ask the rest... I can't read. Why didn't you ask the rest of us to help you?
Why is that?
If I did that, and we all worked as one, the mastermind would have noticed right away. Plus, there's always the chance that the mastermind is actually one of us. What?
Correct.
Well, don't make too big of a deal out of it. It's just a possibility. But since it is a possibility, you can't ignore it, right? The mastermind. One of us. If she believed that, then of course she couldn't trust anyone around her. In which case, it only makes sense that she would look into her missing memory by herself.
However...
That being said, there was a limit to what I could do by myself, which is why I asked you to help me. But why me? Okay, wait. So you're saying he's claiming he doesn't know how to hack and wants back in? No, that's too bad, because the log said he was moving at like 1,000 blocks per second or something. To the point where it said the server was running behind. It was not lag, the server wouldn't comprehend it like that. And even if he wasn't hacking, he killed a bunch of someone's animals. No, he's not getting back in. Because among everyone, you were least likely to be the mastermind. That was just intuition, but... Wait, oh, because... Okay. I see. Your intuition was right, though. There's no way an ordinary kid like me could have been the mastermind.
I understand. I should understand everything. My goal isn't to get out of here. It's to stay here.
Just like the dream I had before, but why did that just happen?
Listen.
Are you okay? Oh, yeah, it's nothing. It is nothing, right?
Hey.
Even now, I still trust you, you know. It's just, I'm not used to relying on others.
Correct.
I know I never asked you for help the right way, so I understand if you're not convinced. Honestly, I was convinced. I think that's just her personality. Okay. You said you had a reason for doing all that investigating on your own? So how'd that turn out? Were you able to remember anything?
So...
I think there's still a lot I don't remember, but at the very least, I was finally able to recall my purpose and my ability. You mentioned your ability. My ability, what everyone should have known me for. I'm the ultimate detective. See, now does it make sense why she had experience touching bodies? The ultimate detective?
Correct.
And the reason I came to Hope's Peak Academy, there was someone I had to find here in the school. You had to find someone. Who?
So...
Well, it was the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy. The headmaster? Why did you want to find the headmaster? Because he's my father. What?
In other words...
I was separated from him as a child. As it turns out, he became the headmaster of Hope's Peak. Kyoko's dad is Hope's Peak's headmaster? And that explains when Alter Ego told us how he thought the headmaster was involved. I'll find a way.
Huh?
No matter what it takes, I will find the headmaster.
No matter what?
No matter the cost.
So,
Kyoko, what's going on? My memory hadn't come back at that point, but when he said that, it felt strange. It makes perfect sense now, of course, since my whole purpose for coming here was to find him. That makes sense.
However...
But listen, Makoto, I want to make this perfectly clear, so there's no misunderstanding. I said the headmaster wasn't the mastermind, but I didn't say that to protect him. I only said what I felt, based on what I'd seen when I snuck into the headmaster's room. Then, what did you see in there?
So...
The room had been ransacked. The shelves were a mess. The desk drawers dumped on the floor. The only conclusion is that someone who didn't know where anything was had been in there. You mean the mastermind, right?
It's true.
That was my assumption, yes. And to confirm my suspicion, I decided to investigate the second floor of the dorms using the key I'd found. But why there? Because I also found this in the headmaster's room. This is some kind of map?
Indeed.
It's a layout of the entirety of Hope's Peak Academy. I found it in the headmaster's room, along with Mukuro's profile and that key. The map showed that the second floor was home to a number of rooms meant for faculty use. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time. And I figured the headmaster would have some kind of private room there. I assumed that if that were true, that room would likely hold more clues. So I went to check.
Correct.
And that's when I finally remembered. I remembered that my purpose was to find the owner of that room. Okay. Wait. What? Okay. So you went there to see if the headmaster really did have a private room there?
However...
But once I got there, I noticed the second floor of the dorms didn't have any cameras or monitors. So, what was it like? That part of the school, I mean. It's hard to describe. All I can say is... The moment I saw it, I realized whatever's going on in this school is more horrific than we ever imagined. What do you mean?
So...
I can't explain it. You'll need to see it for yourself. And I'm sure you'll get your chance soon enough. Sounds like it must be important. And really ominous. Can we leave? Okay.
However...
Of course, once I got to the second floor of the dorms, there were no cameras and no monitors. Which is why I had no idea what was going on in the rest of the building. It has to do with Mukuro Ikusaba, doesn't it?
However...
Just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her. And I know it wasn't you either. I know you're right, but that just means everyone but you and me had an alibi. So then, who did kill her?
Anyway...
What I can say for sure is that the mastermind is directly involved. To begin with, the point of the class trial of Mukuro Ikusaba was to get me killed. Get you killed?
Indeed.
I stole that key and disappeared. And in retaliation, they wanted to draw me out and eliminate me.
Correct.
That was the point of the class trial. It was. The mastermind knew they couldn't interfere directly. You mean because of the school regulations?
That's right.
Exactly.
In other words,
The mastermind is adamant about following the rules, and with that rule in place, they couldn't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, oh, I turned on auto. They tried to use the class trial to do it. The mastermind couldn't step in because of the rules? That makes it sound like the mastermind themselves is somehow bound by the school regulations.
hey,
It's almost like they're following their own rules because they want to. There's one other thing I'd like to point out about the murder of Mukuro Kusaba. What's that? There was a point where Mukuro may not have become the victim. It could have been you, Makoto. I could have become the victim?
indeed.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Do you mean... Do you mean when Kazuma? What? I forget his name. Let me scroll up. Yeah, Kazuma. You mean when Kazuma almost got killed? That's not Makoto Naegi. I can hear them, you know. The footsteps of the god of death. That's not creepy at all. What? I can hear the god of death as he moves. That ability naturally draws me into cases, just like this.
Anyway,
Which is exactly what happened with you. I was in the dorms, and I had a sudden sense of dread. I looked down the stairwell, and I saw a white shadow cross the corridor. I gave chase right away. As I followed it, I saw the shadow go into your room.
correct.
I ran into your room, and I saw what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course.
However,
That wasn't the end of things, of course. I stopped them, but that led to... whoever the masked assailant was, they ended up dead.
correct.
And their murder was disguised, and the dojo key wound up in my room. It all has to be the work of the mastermind, and an attempt to use the class trial to eliminate me. So all this would mean that whoever killed Mukuro is also the mastermind, right?
Indeed.
I don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I want to think. But that's really bad if true. It means the mastermind can kill whoever they want if they feel like. Wait, but doesn't that create another contradiction? The mastermind wanted to use the class trial to try and kill you because they couldn't interfere, right?
Correct.
You're right. That is a contradiction. And it's not just Mukuro. They needed the class trial to kill me, but seemed ready to kill you in your room. Everything they did is a contradiction. So, what does it all mean?
In other words,
It means that the mastermind is the one who's been cornered. Huh?
Makoto.
Just a little more. A little more, and I should be able to find out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the other ultimate despair. The other ultimate despair? There's no doubt that Mukuro was the ultimate despair, and that she's dead. But I don't think the ultimate despair is just one person. It's not?
Indeed.
If you think about it, the ultimate despair seems to implicate whoever caused that event. You're talking about
That's right.
what happened a year ago, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The tragedy. Whoever's responsible for that. They're the ultimate despair?
It would seem...
That despicable group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. And there,
Indeed.
make no mistake, they're the root of all the evil that has forced us to go through this. That is the ultimate despair. And that is our real enemy. time for Chapter 6. Oh, I got the rocket. Nice. The ultimate despair. A group of people who caused the tragedy 1 year ago. Those same people put together this killing game and began broadcasting it around the world. The most desperately awful group of people ever. That is the Mastermind's true identity. Our enemy has finally been revealed. But right now... Right now we have to get out of this horrible place. Figuring out the rest of the story can come after. Yeah, you're right. It's locked, but we have a way to open this door. Kyoko, do you still have that one thing? Monokuma's secret tool that you got from the headmaster's room?
Indeed.
Of course I do. It's an absolutely vital part of ensnaring the Mastermind. I would never part with it. And I can open any door in the school, right?
That's right.
And we should be able to use it on that door, right? Hey Kyoko, we can use that key of yours to open this door, right?
It's true.
Let's find out. Kyoko took out the key with the Monokuma design on it and slid it into the keyhole. How do skeleton keys even work, if they really exist? And then... Yes, it opened.
Indeed.
And now we can get out of here. Let's go. Sounds good. We quickly opened the door and made our escape from the garbage pit. Finally. We were finally free. But there wasn't even time to take a breath of relief, because the real fight had just begun. Ultimate pain, ultimate suffering, ultimate despair, ultimate execution, ultimate death. Chapter 6. Yeah. After leaving the garbage pit, we found ourselves in a tunnel extending straight up like a chimney. There was a metal ladder leading up into the tunnel. We started climbing the ladder, intent on reaching the surface. The ladder was impossibly long. I couldn't even see where it ended. We climbed into darkness. The passage was so dark and cramped, I couldn't even see my own feet beneath me. I had no idea we were so far down.
Hey.
Don't lose your footing. If you slip, I won't be able to catch you. Yeah, I'll be careful. But now that you said that, I'm getting kind of nervous. Maybe talking will help keep my mind off it. So Kyoko, there's something I wanted to ask you. You said you're the ultimate detective, right? So how long have you been doing detective work? How long?
So...
Ever since I can remember. I come from a long line of detectives. Detective work is in my blood. There was a time when being a detective was considered a sacred duty. My family's always seen it that way. Then, is your family famous?
Wrong.
Quite the opposite, actually. Even among actual detectives, many people haven't heard of us. Huh? But how come? It's like your family tradition, right? So...
Right.
Because we take pride in it. Pride?
Indeed.
A detective is neither light nor shadow. We represent neither justice nor evil. That is how we can uncover the absolute truth. We stand neutral in all things, and to do that, we have to stand separate from the rest of society, which is why we've made a conscious effort to conceal our existence. A conscious effort?
It's true.
It's kind of old-fashioned. and I can't say it's entirely rational, but it's our family creed, and we do what we must to protect it. Because, like I said, it's our source of pride. So that explains, before I came here, when I was looking up info about the school online, I never saw anything about her. Because she hid herself on purpose, to protect the pride of her family.
However,
I need some water. And yet... I gave up some of that pride. Huh? In order to enter Hope's Peak, I had to reveal myself to the school. I did it knowing it was something a true Kirigiri detective would never do. But the reason you gave up that pride, the reason you would go so far to enter Hope's Peak, was because that's how much you wanted to reconnect with your dad, right? There's no shame in that.
what?
Reconnect? I had absolutely no desire to reconnect with my father. Huh? But you'd be reuniting after all those years, right? You would have had so much to talk about.
Wrong.
There's nothing I want to talk to my father about.
However,
There's something I want to say to him, though. What? No matter what it takes, I have to find him and tell him, face to face. What is it?
So...
I want to sever all ties with him. Sever? The last time I saw him, I was still very young, so I don't remember myself, but apparently he was extremely intelligent. He was in line to become the next head of the Kirigiri family. He was talented, he had a promising future,
However,
but he had no interest in detective work. So he cut himself off from the family. Not long after that, my mother died, and he simply ran away. He went to my grandfather, and they had a huge argument. And young as I was, he left me behind. I'm sure there was a reason for that. I'm sure your dad wanted to take you with him.
right.
If that's true, then I need to thank him. Thank him for leaving me. Because unlike him, I take pride in the work I do. I take pride in my family name. So every last part of me is happy he didn't take me with him. If I'd gone with him, I never would have had the chance to become a detective. I mean, that's kind of good, because if she was never a detective, we would be all dead because we're too stupid to figure out a trial without her telling us. I was above Kyoko on the ladder, so I wasn't able to see her expression. So I couldn't tell. I couldn't see how she looked when she said that, what she might have been feeling. All I could tell was that compared to her usual self, she was more talkative and more emotional. I don't blame him, you know. He had his own life to live. That's what anyone in my position might say, right? But it's not true.
However,
But there's one thing I can never forgive. Really?
so...
The way everyone else looked at me. I was never sad about being left behind. Like I said, I think it was a good thing.
However,
When the rest of my family looked at me, they saw something different. They only saw me as the little girl that was abandoned by her father. That's how they see me every day. I mean, even to this day. His shadow has been following me my entire life. I'm sick of it. I need him out of my life. I need to step out of his shadow.
correct.
That's why I have to find him and tell him we're no longer family. in order to settle the past. In order to remove him from my life forever. I have no doubt he forgot about me years ago. But your family, to just cut him out like that.
Wrong.
Our only connection is through blood, nothing more. Are we connected by heart and soul? No.
Hey.
Is blood really enough to call someone family? Only connected by blood, not by heart or soul. I was so shocked to hear her say something like that. I didn't know how to respond. So instead, I said nothing. I just kept climbing the ladder in complete silence. And after I don't know how long, we finally reached the top. Looks like this is it.
Indeed.
On the other side of this door, Hope's Peak is waiting for us. We're back.
That's right.
Remember that hatch on the ground near the trash room? I'm fairly certain that's where we'll come out. I unlocked it earlier, so it should open without much trouble. Well, here goes nothing. I reached my right hand up and pushed against the hatch. The hatch opened with ease, and so... looks like we're back. But I can't believe how long that ladder was. I'm exhausted. I can't exactly say we're safe and sound, but at least we're out of there. Now we're back in Hope's Peak Academy. Kyoko, thank you. I never would have gotten out of there without you. No thanks necessary. I was just returning the favor. Okay. So, now what do we do? I'm glad I didn't die, of course, but if the mastermind finds out... And I'm worried about you too. You help me, so they might...
Listen.
You're worried? Yeah, of course.
So then...
Well, let's just get a concrete answer. Huh?
In other words...
Let's ask Monokuma if there's a problem with you escaping. Wait, that's...
However...
If we try to hide, it's only a matter of time till we're found out. It's not like we can run away. As she said that, she pointed at the nearby surveillance camera. So you're saying that rather than stressing out over getting caught, we should just give up now? Don't worry. What you think is going to happen isn't. Because the mastermind is the one that's ensnared. I don't think that means anything in this situation right now, but okay. The mastermind is ensnared. You said something like that before. What does it mean?
So...
The mastermind stood exposed during the investigation into Mukuro's death. There was a moment where the mastermind let their guard down. There was?
Right.
If we can talk to Monokuma, we can confirm it. And it'll be better for us if we go to him directly before he tracks us down. That should help with our negotiations. I just realized Monokuma was down because the mastermind was out attacking me and also messing with Mukuro's body. Like, putting on Mukuro's body. That's probably obvious because my brain small. I didn't know this. That should help with our negotiations. I'm still a little, super uneasy about this. But we don't really have a choice, do we?
Indeed.
Monokuma should be in the gym.
Shall we go?
Let's get going. Okay, guess we're going to the gym.
now.
Hey. Kyoko, I don't mind so much. But Makoto's supposed to be dead. What's he doing here? That's exactly how I thought he'd react. Are we really going to be okay? You were supposed to be punished. Did Kyoko help you?
What?
So what if I did? What will you do? If the guilty party is exposed during the class trial, they alone will be executed. It's unfortunate, but that is the rule. So now I gotta punish you again. And this time I won't leave anything to chance. Guess I'll die. Kyoko.
Right.
Do whatever you feel you have to. What?
However...
But before you do, let me just say one thing.
No.
If you execute Makoto, that means you lose. Not that that matters to you, right? I lose?
Hey!
You! Explain yourself! What do you mean by that?
Because...
Well, you set up this latest class trial yourself, right? I was getting in your way, so you wanted an excuse to kill me.
In other words...
I was supposed to be chosen as the Blackened and then executed, right? Hey! What are you talking about?
However...
But when Makoto chose to overlook my lie, your plan came crashing down. The results of the trial weren't at all what you were expecting. Because you never imagined that in that position, one person would protect another like that.
Right.
And in response to that unexpected development,
Indeed.
you reacted by proclaiming Makoto the Blackened and trying to execute him. You made the choice out of desperation. No, more than that. You must have realized that Makoto, who refused to be manipulated, was a threat to you as well.
However...
But then there was another unexpected development waiting for you. An entity that would throw a wrench, so to speak, into your precious execution machinery. Alter ego. You never imagined the possibility of a being that could come to our aid, even after you killed it.
Am I wrong?
Now here's the absolute truth. Makoto didn't kill Muguro. You did.
Listen to me.
So executing Makoto for it surely would be a violation of your rules, which I know you love so much. If the Blackened is exposed, they alone will be executed. That's what you told us, right? And that means I lose? You talk a big game. You're saying the Blackened is me and not Makoto?
Well?
And you can prove this, right?
Well...
No, I can't. Don't just say it like that. What is this, a comedy routine? To make such bold claims without a shred of evidence.
That doesn't matter.
I don't have any right now. But with a little more time, I guarantee I'll find some.
That's right.
Because no matter how deeply you try to bury it, there's only ever one absolute truth. And now you're trying to talk like some kind of famous detective type? Oh, because he doesn't know it, she knows that she's a detective.
Because...
If Makoto really was the killer, he never would have come to you willingly like this. He would have feared for his life, feared another execution. He would have tried to run and hide. He would have been gripped by the despair you so love to inspire.
However...
But here we are, confronting you with nothing but hope in our hearts.
What the heck?
And that's supposed to be enough to convince me in the absence of evidence?
Indeed.
It's not you I'm trying to convince.
Hey.
If you were to execute Makoto now, everyone out there watching this would be extremely displeased. Huh?
Indeed.
Imagine what everyone out there would think if you killed Makoto. They would assume that you killed him because what we said is exactly right.
Listen to me.
Despair can never kill hope.
Hey.
Of course, you can say we're just making this all up. You're welcome to prove us wrong. No, you have no choice but to prove it. Because if you kill Makoto without proving your own innocence, you'll be accepting your own defeat. If you want to earn our despair, fair and square,
That's what we have to
then
do.
I suggest you take my advice. So, what is this advice of yours?
It's true.
To do Mukuro's trial over again. Only this time, you follow the school regulations to ensure a fair trial.
It's time for one last showdown. One final battle between hope and despair. Hey,
Well, that would make for a proper climax, wouldn't you say? Fair trial. One last showdown. In other words, this would be our chance to expose the true identity of Mukuro's killer, of the mastermind themselves. But what reason would the mastermind have to accept the challenge? They'll probably just execute me without another word. Interesting.
Barrett!
Very interesting indeed. Barry?
What's wrong?
Oh, I was getting bored, so I decided to change things up a little. So, time for bear jokes. Now, what you've suggested might be possible. It would certainly make for one honey of a climax.
in other words.
Does that mean you accept?
You guys!
If we do things your way, that'll be enough to convince you and the viewers, right? And it would cause you unbearable despair, right? Then I'm prepared to agree to your terms. Will your hope win out? Or will my despair claim victory?
I can barely contain myself!
Let's have one final grisly showdown. He agreed. And you still have a shot at this. But this is the long-awaited climax, right? Just guessing the killer is barely a fitting end.
You guys!
So for this final face-off, you'll have to unearth all the mysteries that have been buried here. All the mysteries? That's right! Every last mystery that's pawing around the school. If you can do that,
I can barely contain myself!
then that'll be enough to qualify as a victory for you.
It's true.
That's what we've been trying to do all along. Okay, well, good. Then let's bear it all. If you can claw your way to the truth of Mukuro's death and solve the mysteries of the school,
You guys!
then you win. But if you can't do all that, we'll all face execution, right? I can barely contain my excitement. I hate these bear puns. When you learn the whole truth, what kind of despair will you show me? We're as excited as you are, I'm sure.
Listen to me.
When we've uncovered every last truth, how will the ultimate despair reveal their own despair? I honestly can't believe how this all has turned out.
Hey,
But before we get started, I want to clarify one more thing. Do you remember the rule? When one student kills another, that's when a class trial is held.
What's wrong?
I remember that, for sure. So what?
hey,
I just want to confirm. That is what you said, right? And it's a true statement? You don't have to be so suspicious. I've said it before, but it bears repeating. Everything is based on school regulations. And having a trial for Mukuro is no exception to that. Huh? Mukuro's trial is no exception. Then it's part of the regulations? Which would mean that whoever killed Mukuro... It's a very polarizing approach, I know. But, okay. Oh, because polar bears, I didn't get that first. But, okay, enough puns. Anyway, here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but... This killing game began with 16 participants. All of them high school students. And the only people to take a single step in Hope's Peak since the killing game began are those 16 students. What?
Listen.
Are you telling the truth? Why do you go quiet all of a sudden? I'm done talking. I got nothing left to say to you. So get lost, would ya? Why so mad? He seems emotionally unstable. Leave me alone. Get out of here. Okay, I'm going. You're really just gonna let me go? I don't even care anymore. You're all gonna get your punishment later anyway. I need to start getting it ready. A super duper extra special punishment, overflowing with despair.
Hey.
Come on, Makoto. Let's go. Okay. Should I start investigation this stream or wait until next stream? Because if I wait till next stream, it might end up being like an hour short. Monokuma's unstable laughter seemed to cling to us as we walked away. Just like that, we were out of the gym. I could hardly believe it, but somehow I ended up not getting executed. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking of waiting till next stream, but I don't know. Because we won't have time for the class trial and investigation next stream, because it's a lot of investigation. Still had my life, and we still had a chance. Overall, things turned out way better than expected. Once again, I was in Kyoko's debt. Kyoko, thank you. Everything I have right now is because of you. Okay.
However...
I'm gonna have to replenish that before I go to bed then. Don't thank me just yet. The real battle is still ahead of us. Yeah, true. But still, I'm glad it worked out. It's fine. This has happened before. Except it was more of them joking around than actually trying to grief, but still. And also me overreacting, but still. It's not the first time something similar to this has happened. I wasn't sure if the enemy would accept my proposal. But honestly, why would the mastermind agree to that? I mean, they don't stand to gain anything from a final showdown, do they?
So...
They had no choice but to accept. Huh?
Because...
It's all because of that one moment that the mastermind let down their guard, like I said. So when was it that the mastermind let their guard down?
So...
I wasn't there to hear it myself, but do you remember what the mastermind said? They said they had hijacked the airwaves to broadcast her school life to the outside world, right? Yeah, they definitely said that.
Listen.
And what did you think when you heard that? Pretty hard to believe, right? Well, I mean, the idea of actually taking over the airwaves seems so unbelievable.
Indeed.
You don't exactly read about something like that happening very often, so it's hard to imagine. In other words, that kind of thing is extremely difficult to pull off.
However...
And yet somehow, the mastermind was able to do it.
In other words...
But think of it another way. There must have been some reason they had to do something that difficult. A reason?
So...
They had to show the world something, no matter the cost. Us killing each other. They wanted to show the world?
It would seem...
The Mastermind has been very adamant about not killing us directly, but forcing us to kill each other. And all their rules and regulations were designed to encourage that. Yeah, that makes sense. If those stupid regulations didn't exist, nobody would have killed anybody.
In other words,
So the Mastermind's ultimate goal was to make us kill each other and show that off to the world. But why?
correct.
To prove a point, most likely. Prove a point?
Hey,
The outside world has a name for the students of Hope's Peak, right? A certain concept. You're talking about hope, right?
that's right.
And for those of us who represent hope to kill each other and sink into despair. The Mastermind wants the world to see that, to try and prove that despair is better than hope. That's their goal, as the ultimate despair. What? They want to prove that despair is better than hope? But that's ridiculous.
It's true.
You're right. It is ridiculous. Completely irrational. It's the kind of thing that nobody but those who call themselves the ultimate despair would would devise. That group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. But is that really their only reason for making the rest of us suffer?
Makoto,
I know how angry it must make you. And yet, that same motivation is what led to the Mastermind revealing your weakness. What?
in other words,
Because their goal is to broadcast this killing game to the world. The Mastermind has had to be more particular than than is reasonable about their own regulations. If the Mastermind simply ignored their rules, this wouldn't have been a game, but a one-sided slaughter.
at the very least,
At least, that's how those who are watching this would have seen it. And that's why the Mastermind couldn't kill any of us themselves?
indeed.
That is precisely the reason. No matter how much they may hate what I'm doing, I haven't violated a single one of the regulations. Junko broke the rules, so she was punished. But in my case, they couldn't lay a finger on me.
Right.
So instead, they tried to use the class trial, following all the proper rules, to get me killed. They began a trial that didn't have a right answer, then made me out to be the killer. But even that didn't work.
It's true.
Yes, thanks to you. And due to that failure, the Mastermind took yet another risk. They attempted to kill you instead, who also was not the killer. And when that fact was exposed on live TV to the entire outside world, the Mastermind had to accept your suggestion
Indeed.
to prove to the world that despair is better than hope. They have to defeat us in perfect form.
In other words,
It would only do the Mastermind harm to have it shown that they'd violated their own regulations. But all of that was a hunch, right? And you were still able to get the Mastermind to accept your challenge?
however,
Well, it's only thanks to you that we got that chance. Because you believed in me, another path opened up. Still, I can't believe how much of the Mastermind's thoughts and plans you were able to figure out. I didn't have the slightest clue.
wrong.
In the end, though, I couldn't prove any of it. It was just my reasoning. Essentially, I was making a bet.
Whew.
But it looks like I got it right. This time at least. I won the bet. She let out a quick sigh. Oh, I just did that. It took us as a small sign of, I took it as a small sign of relief. To be honest, I haven't been that nervous in a long time. I totally couldn't tell you were nervous at all. You seemed totally confident from the moment we decided to go talk to him. Well, presenting a strong demeanor is a fundamental part of negotiation and persuasion, wouldn't you say? Plus, if I'd showed my uneasiness. That would have just made you that much more uneasy. Yeah, you're probably right. How pathetic.
However...
Anyway, we can't relax just yet. All we've done is earn another chance to fight. We have to win this time.
Correct.
Or everything we've gone through will have been for nothing. You're right. If we can't defeat the mastermind, it'll cost us our lives. There's no option except to win.
Hey.
But before we begin the final battle, we have to tell the others what's going on. True. But now we know who our real enemy is. All we have to do now is work together with everyone to destroy the mastermind. Work together with everyone.
However...
Is that really possible? Huh?
Anyway,
right now we have to go find the others.
shall we go?
They're probably in the dorms somewhere. Shall we go? Sure. I'm gonna tell all of them and then go sleep. Oh, wrong room, that's Sayaka's. This is Toko's room. Is she inside?
Hey.
I don't think she's here. Come on, we need to keep looking. It's Chihiro, Celeste, Junko, Byakuya, Mondo, Taka. Okay, so Byakuya.
Hey.
I don't think they're in the dorms. But I'm only allowed in the first floor. Okay. Maybe they're in the dining hall. And suddenly we were greeted with... He's singing Scatman! My sense of humor is so bad. It's just... that's hilarious. You again. Whoa, did Monokuma just leak his own IP? Is he broken? I suppose his emotional instability reached its limit. Jeez, what the heck?
However...
I wonder what that was all about. I couldn't help but let out a sigh of relief.
Is that Makoto?
Hero's expression. Like he's doing like a Dragon Ball Z fighting stance.
You guys!
It is! There's no two ways about it, that's Makoto!
Huh? You survived?
Jeez. You're like a stubborn little cockroach, you know that?
Oh, that's very nice, Byakuya, thanks.
I'm just asking to make sure, but you're not a ghost, right?
Everyone was there. All my friends who had struggled together and survived. As soon as I saw their faces, I couldn't help myself. I started to tear up.
What?
Wait, what's that smell?
What the heck?
Yeah, man, that seriously stinks. It's Makoto. He smells like a wet dog. Get away. Shoo. Shoo. and in a flash, my tears dried up. Okay. I still can't believe you survived. Yeah, me either. Do you realize why it is you escaped execution? It was alter ego. He saved my life.
That's right.
Not too many people can say they've had their lives saved by a computer program. I imagine it was a learning experience for you. Should because I kind of don't want to end at like a random moment. I might want to end it right before investigation starts.
Makoto.
There's no time to indulge in an extended happy reunion. We need to explain to everyone what happened with Monokuma.
Yes.
Explain? Explain what? But is it okay that you're here? What if the mastermind catches you?
It's true.
That's related to what I have to tell you all. I need to tell you all about the last class trial. Wait. Okay, that was Kyoko. Okay. Last class trial?
In other words...
We're going to redo Mukuro's trial.
Huh?
Wait, I think I screwed up my voice for her right there. My voice is dying. What? Seriously?
How about that?
What's the point of redoing it? Makoto killed her, right? No, I didn't do it. Like I keep telling you.
Wrong.
Makoto isn't the killer. And of course it's not me, or any of you. Then who is it?
I see.
What she's saying is, it was all the work of the mastermind. You're saying the mastermind killed Mukuro?
That's right.
That's right. It was all an elaborate trap contrived by the mastermind. Makoto spotted the trap in time and did what he had to stop it.
However...
But his decision meant that he would be the one to die.
What did you say?
You spotted the trap, did you, Makoto? You made it sound like it was easy. I just, you know.
However...
But executing Makoto, who wasn't the Blackened, is a clear violation of the school regulations. The rules state that only the Blackened is executed. The mastermind broke their own rules. Which is why I went and negotiated with them to have the trial one more time.
Huh?
And the mastermind agreed? Does that mean they really did break the rules? They had no choice but to agree. You used the TV broadcast to gain the leverage you needed, didn't you?
Correct.
Very observant of you.
Naturally.
I recall what you said at the end of the last trial. When you said, now it's the mastermind that's ensnared, that's what you were referring to.
Don't be mean!
Hey, I'm totally in the dark here. For anyone who doesn't understand, you can ask Kyoko to explain it later. So, knowing all this, what do we do now?
About that.
It's about who killed Mukuro, right? So our job is to expose the mastermind? But there's more to it than that, correct? Yeah. For us to win this time, we have to solve every last mystery surrounding the school.
Huh?
Every last mystery?
But...
We've been looking around all this time. We still don't know anything, right?
Anyway...
You've probably guessed already. But if we lose this time, everyone dies. Everyone?
I hate you!
Hey, who said you could agree to those terms without talking to the rest of us? I'm fine with things the way they are. I'm fine living here forever with Master. I'm pretty sure you die pretty quickly based on that, bad ending. Where everyone had a kid with Hina, and Toko was dead. I, meanwhile, want to get out of here as soon as humanly possible.
Anyway,
at this point, the only way for us to survive is to unravel the truth. In other words, one decisive final battle. A rather interesting development, I'd say. But figure out who the mastermind is, and how they killed Mukuro, and all the school's mysteries. It's a pretty tall friggin' order. Maybe. But this time the trial is different. We know who our enemy is now. So if we work together and search as hard as we can, I'm sure we'll solve all those mysteries. I'm not so sure about that. Huh? I can't agree with the idea of working together with everyone. You can't agree? Why not? I mean, working together with everyone seems like the most obvious way to solve all the mysteries.
Indeed.
That's what I thought too, at first. Until Monokuma gave us that little hint of his. Hint? It's a very polarizing approach, I know. But, enough with the puns. Anyway, here's a hint. I'm sure I already told you this, but this killing game began with 16 participants. All of them high school students. And the only people to take a single step in Hope's Peak since the killing game began are those 16 students. Do you have a guess on who the mastermind is? Monokuma said that, did he? Then Kyoko's opinion is perfectly reasonable.
Huh?
But why?
So in other words...
If the mastermind really is the one who killed Mukuro, as Kyoko says, then the mastermind would have had to set foot in this school, right? Monokuma could probably murder Mukuro, but there's no way he could have disguised the scene like that.
In other words...
But according to Monokuma, the only people who have set foot in Hope's Peak are the 16 students who have taken part in the killing game. Then the mastermind is... There were 15 of us in the main hall at the very beginning. Add in Mukuro and you get 16. So the mastermind would have to be one of them.
That's right.
And of those 16 people we started out with, the only ones who are still alive are the people standing right here. Need I continue, or do you get it now? You're saying the mastermind is one of us?
No way!
You can't be serious. Wait, we can't say for sure that's true yet. Monokuma might have said all that just to confuse us.
Indeed.
It's certainly a possibility, but only one among many. The mastermind being one of us is also a possibility. And that is one possibility we can't ignore. Yeah, I mean, they're an ultimate, right? The ultimate despair. So they must be a high schooler. You can't say it's not possible. But if one of us was the mastermind, they'd have to be controlling Monokuma somehow, right? But did you ever see anyone acting suspicious anytime Monokuma was active?
Well...
Maybe they snuck off and controlled him in secret.
But...
I don't care how sneaky you are. You would have noticed someone sneaking off that many times.
I'm right?
And then maybe Monokuma was on autopilot. Maybe they loaded up all the dialogue and actions beforehand. In that case, there's no way he could have all those back and forth conversations with us. Well, it wouldn't be entirely impossible if they directed the flow of the conversation. Well, maybe, but still. Oh, it's nighttime.
This is a school announcement. You've all probably figured this out by now, but at this point, the killing game has now entered true ending mode. So, in the name of fairness, I will unlock every room in the school. Look wherever you want. Solve the mystery in whatever way you see fit. Then we can all meet up at the class trial, okay?
How very magnanimous of him to unlock all the rooms.
That's fine.
The time for talk is done. Now we need to begin our investigation. But I was planning on working alone from the beginning anyway.
In the name of my
At this
family.
point, I can rely only on myself, on the Togami blood flowing through my veins. I have no time to worry about the rest of you. Each of you must uphold your responsibility.
Goodbye.
Well then. After making his final statement, Byakuya left the dining hall. Master, he didn't take me with him.
Hey.
Do you blame him? Without Master, the rest of you are like coffee without cream, coffee with cream without the cream, or coffee. You're totally useless. So, bye. With that, Toko trudged out of the dining hall. And now she's gone. You're gonna go off by yourself, right, Kyoko?
Indeed.
That's right. Which just leaves Makoto, Hina, and me.
You know?
In that case, I'm gonna go by myself too.
Just a second.
Wait, how come?
How about that?
Just wait and see. I'm gonna use my totally awesome spirit power to figure out the mastermind's true identity. Laughing loudly, Hiro left the dining hall. Everyone's really gonna go off by themselves? What about you, Hina? I guess I'll do the same thing.
But,
I mean, it's not that I don't trust everyone, you know? But up till now, I haven't really been all that useful. I just depended on Sakura and everyone else. You're not useless. If you hadn't been here, I would have died. Makoto. That's really nice of you to say. But still, I know I've mostly been totally useless. Hina's nice though.
Okay.
So I figure, at least here at the end, maybe I can find something that'll help us all get out of here. So I'm gonna go off and do it all on my own. Okay, see you later. Hina was in surprisingly high spirits as she dashed out of the dining hall. And once again, it's just us two.
Indeed.
So, you're gonna go off on your own too, right, Kyoko?
However,
Well, don't misunderstand. Just because we're going to do our searches separately doesn't mean we can't still work together.
so...
That goes for all of us. I think I see what you mean. Doing our own investigating doesn't mean we can't work together in the end. I should just see... see it as us splitting up to cover more ground. And then we can get back together and share what we found. That was a rhyme. Yeah, that's right.
So then...
Well, I'd better get going. I have an endless list of things I need to check.
Correct.
Monokuma said all the doors in the school had been unlocked, right? So we should be able to investigate every nook and cranny in the school. We can visit all the places we couldn't go before.
Makoto.
No matter what it takes, we have to uncover the truth. By any means necessary. With that, I can't. My brain is not working. With that, Kyoko was gone, leaving only me. I don't have time to waste either. I have to begin my search. I still can't believe the mastermind might be one of us. So that's what I have to prove. I'll prove that the mastermind isn't one of us. I'll expose the mastermind's true identity and solve the mystery of this school. And then we can all escape together. Okay. I guess I'll start by taking another look at Mukuro's Monokuma file. I want to sleep game. Due to the explosion, the victim's identity is unknown. They were, however, dead before the blast. The victim had been stabbed a single time with a knife, which went completely through the body. They had also been struck in the head with an object about as thick as a metal pipe. The body was covered with other wounds, but these were at least several days old. Once we find out who killed Mukuro Ikusaba, just call her Mukuro! Stop saying the full name! Then we'll know who the mastermind is. So, where should I start my investigation to figure out who killed her? I guess I should start with the rooms that were locked up until now. Headmaster's room, the biolab, and the door in the data center with the Monokuma face on it. Oh, and the second floor of the dorms where the gate was down before. That should be open now too, right? After that, I'll have to double check the areas that were connected to the murder. Which means the garden and the dojo. Okay, time to get started. No, time to sleep. We'll investigate next stream. Because I'm tired, so I'm going to sleep.